Okay, Mike, so as you know, we're going to work on your priorities that we outlined when we started this process back in the end of last year, and we'll start with technical. So it was a general comment, but mostly on the back end where you're too risky. And it wasn't that we wanted you to get rid of the riskiness, but we wanted you to support it with a little bit more body.
Generally, I think it's got weaker on the lower side and the high one.
So what do you think? Higher loss? Kick instead of slice. In August, it was really hard for you to be able to hit a second serve to someone's back, like out of 10, because there's so much of that slice, because of the two step. So we adjusted that by making sure the right foot stays inside, and you're able to
Serves? You know what? Yeah, you know what?
Forehand layback, so we talked about when you were hitting. We have some video actually that I'll be using in the movie that I'm doing here. Talk about tactics and mental, and as it's written in the LTAD, the Long-Term Athlete Development Program, in the consolidating stage, which we have earmarked you being in, under strategical and tactical, what we've written here is, or what I've highlighted is, developing the ability to play percentage tennis, playing the right shot at the right time, rally, attack, or defend at a higher tempo. I think that a lot of times you beat yourself in matches, and
That point looks according to plan? Yes? So are you at this stage planning your next point already?
Was when serving, either first or second serve, developing the tactical skills required to serve effectively via the use of spin, precision, and later power. Development of an effective second serve becomes critical at this stage. What I had written here was just what we had talked about there, serving to the backhand, using kick on a slice. So we've kind of already talked about that, but can you just touch on that? Is there any cues that you're working on to make sure that you're
Just like think of like the racket as a bridge. You're trying to make it go away, and then behind the racket that seems to be helping you get the kick, not just like kick on the slice, but then it's
good, really good. And lastly, this is a while ago that we talked about this, but when you used to come to the net, you were kind of halfway in, halfway out, right? You would maybe settle around zone 5, zone 6 instead of really coming in. Are you say, but it's hard to do. So is that it's developing a no-excuse style, always tries to find a way to be competitive mentality, right? I think that was more a problem before. I've seen huge changes in that, but as early as last summer, we were working on just like compete, work for this. You talk about that a little bit, and how you improve.
I think just the playing more tournaments like I have recently, that's just, I don't know, just the overall mentality of just not giving up chances to just wanting to do whatever.
Is that a part of your game that you're becoming proud of?
Yeah.
Once you become proud of something, it becomes part of There's still a casualness that is not like much quality. Like if I watched a bunch of players like the Rogers Cup, guys, girls, it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't see what I see with these, which is like you hit a shot and then after you kind of like this. Or methodical process between each point, and it has to happen in practice because you can't just switch it on when a match comes. It has to be in practice. So what I'd like to see you do, because you're going to play another set, is listen to what Bryson said. Be a little bit more less casual, because we've talked about the casual. A little bit more methodical with every shot, and even in between points, just have that more of a professional look.
So this part is great. Seeing you get set up, the way you're like down on, hunched down like that for the return, that part is awesome. That part has improved a lot. It's just the willy-nilly kind of loosey-goosey stuff in between the points that just doesn't have a professional look. So be aware of 100% of your time on the court.
So the way that I've chosen to teach the psychological things that Mike needs to work on is creating certain scenarios that he has folded under in the past. So situations where he's leading by quite a bit and he's playing against an opponent that doesn't provide him pace and doesn't miss. So I'll be that player against him, and I'll keep working him until the scenario repeats itself, and when it does, that's when we stop and talk. Work on is giving him homework assignments, whether it's something that he needs to do online where he needs to copy a certain player, or he has to watch a match and he has to pay attention to certain attributes of that match, so that he can come back to me afterwards and report on what he had learned. So in general, what I try to do with him is make his practice scenarios as tough and challenging as it's going to occur when he's playing in a match. So creating different handicaps for him that would seem unfair, but that would normally elicit a possible feeling of this is not fair, I'm going to use an excuse here, and having him not have that option so he gets used to it. For a really long time, Mike's biggest issues were actually under the psychological column. He would find reasons not to compete. It was in a big match. I've already played this person before, and a lot of times he had a hard time just saying yes, just putting himself in the game because of fear of losing. Although we didn't really treat this video session so much as a lesson, there were still some very important teaching moments in there, and when we were able to look back and watch the video together, he had mentioned that Milos Raonic was his favorite player, and I had said, like, the way that you're moving in between points, the casualness of your performance, is that something that you would expect to see Milos display, whether it was practice or performance? And he said no. So it was a good chance for us to say, yeah, there's some major improvements that have occurred, but still, if you're wanting to be at a certain spot and you can recognize what the players at that spot do, then wouldn't it make sense for you to emulate or try to copy a little bit their style? And I think that he's becoming a little bit more aware of even the subtle things with his body language. Just the way that Mike stands in to return serve is a huge improvement from 5-6 months ago. The last section here is the physical, and according to the guide, the one that I had highlighted, which is the most important, is flexibility, and it's one of these ones that we overlook. And as you're in this stage where you're growing, like how much have you grown in the last year? How many inches? Right? So as that's happening, you want to try to keep those muscles really strong. It's not just for injury prevention, but it's so that you can get to a lot more balls, and while you're getting to them, you're stable. Instead of being crickety and lopsided, while you're getting to those balls, you're stable enough to hit them. So, you know how we did whether or not you continue with a program such as that or you just do static stretching, this is a serious priority. It's one of those ones where you don't really see the difference overnight, but in time, you will be so happy for it. Okay, so make sure that you really stay on top of that. The other one that we had written was core, and I put plus because this core stability is going to be really important for you. Kicking serve that you've got, looping forehand, you've got nice long limbs, so you'll be reaching at the net for those lunging volleys. So we have to be strong enough to keep ourselves balanced and moving. So we probably have a lot of set exercises that you can do to help stabilize the football stuff. That kind of stuff is really helpful. And the last is legs. So that leg drive on the serve, and being able to stay low on ball and drive up on the serve. So you're going to give them your word that we're going to continually work on the physical aspect of the That's it.
So to summarize with Mike, the biggest transformation that's occurred since we started this project in, I guess it would be July, August of last year, is his maturity. He's really matured quite a bit, and because of that, the psychological, which were the most limiting factors of his game, have enhanced every other component of his game. So when he does practice, he practices with more intensity, and when you do give him feedback, he's more thoughtfully considering what it is that you're saying to him. He's just much more aware. His experience at Players Edge Tennis has been very positive for him as well, to be competing and working with coaches of that caliber. So all in all, I'm happy with the progress that he's made, and I think that Mike has a very bright future, and I'm very proud to be working with him.
Yeah.